Hey everyone, Philip Anderson here with Anderson Music Instruction, and today I would like to talk to you for just a couple minutes about playing to the room on your drums. In other words, we've all encountered situations where when we're playing we might be in a really big room where we can just kind of jam and go for it, and then we might find ourselves in situations at other times where the venue or the music calls for a much softer feel. I want to talk to you about different drumsticks, different tools that you can implement to control your volume so that you keep everybody happy, while at the same time being able to really fully express yourself dynamically on the drums and not lose any of the groove and the feel of things. Okay, well, as drummers, one of the biggest complaints is being too loud. And it's the last thing that we usually want to hear because it's so restrictive to try to play quieter. So I just want to talk to you for a minute about some different options and tools that are out there for sticks that can help you to play more quietly and yet maintain kind of a feel and dynamics. First is your basic drumstick. There's lots of different sizes of drumstick. So if you're playing with a 2B, a tree trunk sized drumstick, whittle it down to something smaller. You can go to a 5A, a 7A. Each stick that's smaller, the smaller the diameter is, the quieter sound it's going to produce. So that's the first thing to check and look into, a smaller drumstick. If that's still too much, you can go to a hot rod. And again, there's different sizes of these. It's basically just a bundle of something that looks almost like chopsticks, and they have it all taped together. A lot of drummers use these hot rods, or they're called by some other names sometimes, even for a different feel and sound on the drums. Sometimes you'll actually want to play with these even if you're not trying to be quiet. And if they start to break apart and fall apart in the process like this one has, it's just going to have an even quieter sound. So that's not a problem. Just keep using them until they're shredded up for you. Now, if that's also too loud, you can move to a brush. Brushes are basically used in jazz drumming, but there's been times I've had to break out the brushes even in a different type of musical setting just because everything else was too loud. So you'll have obviously a different tonal quality and different color that the drums are going to sound like, but this will let you still continue to play a little bit with your hand and your motions and that kind of thing and still have a much quieter sound. Now, as a last resort, and I say this kind of partly in jest, but I have actually seen people use pencils before. Not very fun, but if the situation calls for it, you can actually get some really cool tones with your pencils. And if you're like most drummers, you probably spent the better part of your high school years playing with pencils in the classroom anyway, so it'll be an easy transition. That should be some places to get you started thinking in the direction of some different tools that are out there available when you need to play quietly, different sticks that are out there. And as you implement these things, you'll find yourself with the need to just continue to be creative over time. Don't be afraid to experiment, try something new for what the situation requires.